Well, we pulled out the 18T last night to head to the Cottage Grove Speedway and compete in the limited sprint division. Welcome back to today's video. Today's vlog is going to be a little bit different. First off, hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time on today's episode. As many of you guys know, I talked about it in a few videos before. Cottage Grove kind of changed their filming and photography policy for 2020 with all the issues and with Oregon being a very strict state with what's going on in the country. They're trying to do anything just to be open. So as you guys know, I can't actually vlog there on the property with a few exceptions, though we can have the action cameras, the GoPros on our race car. So what today's video is really going to look like, we're going to kind of take you through it going by qualifying and the heat race and the A main event. I got all the footage on the GoPros and we're just going to kind of recap it here now that it's time to wash. So obviously it kind of stinks I'm not able to give you the full meal deal of what it was like to be at Cottage Grove last night and take you through the whole night looking at the racetrack and showing you guys the car and the different things that we're doing to it all. But I figured a video like this is better than no video at all. Now, if you guys are new to the channel and have not heard of the Cottage Grove Speedway, please check it out. I have so many vlogs on my channel that I'll link at the top of the description to check out and really see how well this place races. It is one of the coolest dirt tracks in the United States. And the way that we like to describe Cottage Grove is it is the littlest big track in the United States. It's a small quarter mile, but it's got a lot of banking and it races just like a big track even though it's so small. And you can really stay on the throttle around the top side of the track. There's no outside wall, so you can really get right up on the edge, and usually it races super wide, and I'm so thankful to have it be one of my home tracks here in the state of Oregon. But we are going to get this video started with our qualifying shot actually inside the cockpit for the 3 laps that we had around the Cottage Grove Speedway during group qualifying. I believe we had about 15 or 16 limited sprints last night, so a solid field, and now let's go hit the track for the first time for the night. So we were really good there in qualifying, actually ended up quick time. Felt like my laps were just good overall. My first 2, I made a few mistakes, whether that was in 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, just not getting the car in the perfect spot to my liking, but my last lap was a flyer. I hit 1 and 2 perfectly, was able to keep the car straight, and then got down into 3 and 4, kind of missed the little slick spot that we had entering that corner, and was able just to keep it right in the center, get it turned off without getting sideways and right to the checkered flag. So now we have the heat race up next at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Going quick time, they do a 4-car invert at Cottage Grove, so I'm going to line up second row outside. And qualifying really just positions you for the heat race, and then the heat race finishes kind of determine where you're going to start in the A main event. The only difference is your fate is determined off a dice roll. Now the dice has a bunch of numbers on it, like a 0, a 6, and a 12. So really you could potentially win the heat race and still start in the back if they roll a 12, but you could also win the heat race and they roll a 0 and then you're on the front row of the A. So our goal was just to try to pass as many cars as we can, and then we'll roll the dice and see where we start in the A main event. But here is our heat race from last night. So in that heat race, we were pretty quick, started 4th, ended up running 2nd. I felt like I had a good line. I just needed to work on minimizing a few mistakes. Just a few times there, I lost a little bit of ground. The track changed so much. Another big factor into last night is Cottage Grove ran 6 classes. I think we had like Hornets, we had both IMCA Sport Mods and Modifieds. We had wingless sprints, midgets, and the limiteds. So just a lot of cars total in the pit area, so the track was slickening off at a rapid pace, and us being the last class out there, was already like an A main event almost there in that heat. And it even started to get just a little bit rough in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There was almost like a lip into 1 that you kind of had to watch out for. And then 3 and 4 seemed to maintain just a little bit more grip. So that was going to make it interesting for the A main event, which would be up next. So with running 2nd in that heat race, now it was just up to the dice to see where we start. So if we roll a 0, we were going to be on the 2nd row. If we rolled a 6, we would still be on the 2nd row. And then if we rolled a 12, we were going to start way in the back as all the fast guys would that won the heat races. So I was up watching a few other classes, and since I was quick time, it was my responsibility to roll the dice. Well, Carly was over by the lineup board, and Heather, the track promoter who had the dice, was like, we'll just have Carly roll it since she's right here. I wasn't even there at the time, but let's dial up Carly and see what she ended up rolling. All right, so we got Carly here. Carly, do you want to tell them what you rolled on the dice?
I rolled a number 12.
Carly rolled the 12, so whether it's a pill draw or the dice, when it comes to the limited sprint at Cottage Grove, we don't do very good. Carly, didn't you say that originally you rolled the 6, but you had to redo it or something?
Yeah, I rolled it, but she didn't see it, so she made me redo it.
So we redid it, ended up with the 12, which is fine. Well, thank you, Carly. I'm going to have to roll the dice next time. I can't even blame her too much. It must just run in the family, because I believe the previous time last season when I rolled the dice, it was a 12 as well. So we're just not too good at that. Might have to practice here in the shop. Well, now it is time for you guys to ride along with me for the 25-lap A main event at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Our game plan going into it was pretty much try to get to the front as fast as possible, but still avoid any wrecks. And then also with the track conditions, I figured at some point rubber would come in, so try to be the first one to find it and make moves to the front. So now let's head out, rolling off from 10th. Well, we got the win last night at the Cottage Grove Speedway, brought home a nice looking trophy and a feature win banner. I knew we were gonna have plenty of speed in our 18T machine to move through the field and get the win. It was more about just making the right choices and not getting impatient. It's really easy when you start in the back like that to try to win it on the first lap, but I knew that our car was gonna be just fine. We made the right decisions with what to do with the setup. I quickly passed a few cars in the first 3 to 4 laps, and I think eventually we got into the top 5 and I kind of found my groove. The main thing I wanted to do though was search all over the track because rubber was coming in way quicker I think than maybe everyone expected. And I didn't want to be caught sitting too high on the track and have someone go under me, knowing with kind of the past at Cottage Grove how the rubber can really work lower than sometimes you expect. Had a restart that helped me out. I got into 3rd and then I eventually got into 2nd, and I was following the leader really closely, got into some lap traffic, and he just had a close call. Lap car might have drifted up. He was right there and left rear over the right rear, and that sent him off the track, causing a yellow. So we inherited the lead. I think even if that didn't happen, we were probably gonna have a good shot at the win there, just battling it out. I was a little bit better, just trying to stay as patient as possible to wait for the right time to take it over. Now with rubber coming in early in the A-main event, I knew our tires would be absolutely smoked. Here is a look at our left rear. Now this wasn't a brand new tire to start the night, but it didn't have much wear on it. And then here is a look at our right rear. You can see it's getting down to the cords. Man, maybe 3 or 4 more laps. I don't know if I would have made it. Now this thing was nowhere near brand new. We ran it twice back in the Midwest, and then we decided to flip it and run it for the limited show at Cottage Grove. Like I said, I'm glad the checkered flag flew when it did because I don't think we would have made it too many more laps. I do want to thank all of my sponsors, starting with Pit Stop USA, ABC Powder Coating. We got Lafarge North America, OMA KTM, Fast 4 Media, and QRC Carts. Then also we have North Metford, Les Schwab, and tires. We got On-Site Screeners, Swindell Speed Lab, Durango RV, Ferguson Waterworks, Knife River, and then my family and crew. Without them, this wouldn't be possible, and like I said, it feels awesome to get another win this season. Now we got a busy week coming up. I'll talk about that in our future videos as we get our 360 to go run 4 races in 4 days. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let me know what your thoughts were on today's video. See you guys all in the next one. Deuces.